The following program is intended for mature audiences.
What you got going on yourself, what worked for you, what's best for you. A lot of people be so stuck on like watching everything and everybody else or looking at social media all day, and it's like they dictate their life off of what everybody else doing.
Right.
You ain't gonna get there like that. You know what I'm saying?
I saw your Twitter rant about people like being stuck on clout. And how do you feel like you don't succumb to being stuck on like what's popping on social media and stuff like that?
I don't know. It's like some shit, like it's just in you and it ain't.
Right.
That shit just ain't in me.
You be on there often, or you just don't even really?
Everybody be on social media, but it's like, y'all know the ones, you can look and tell the ones it's just, they live their life for social media. You know what I'm saying?
You know how to
it's like
be
the shit Drake just sitting there around, like people having more followers than dollars. And that shit just the honest to God truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And some people ain't got the followers yet, but they ain't thinking about the dollars. They thinking about the number of them followers. They want them followers. They ain't even really stuck on the dollars. Like, they want them followers. They want that attention. It used to be called attention. Like, everybody used to want attention. It just translated now to the followers. Everybody want them views and them followers. And it's cool, but goddamn, like, come on now.
I mean, them followers do sometimes turn into dollars.
Yeah, but at the same time, and shit, some people don't know it. That's not resonating with them. They just wanna like be in the mix. They just want talking and gossiping and shit to be going on. Like that shit ain't about it. Gossiping don't get you shit. I don't know, man.
Right. It's
I might be wrong, but I don't know.
You make it work for you how you want to use it as a tool, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
easy.
It's like, don't get me wrong, you get your shit up. It's not like I look at social media, it's all about money. Like, I look at everything about money. Bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you run your shit up, you know what I'm saying? Like, get your money off of it. But a lot of people, they ain't trying to do that. They just want to, like, be in the gossip topics, and the gossip situation, the talk and the attention. Like, fuck the money. I don't know who raised them, where they get that shit from.
Get that up off your mind.
It might just be where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm from Memphis, and it's like everything about paper with us. You know what I mean? It's like everything. You know what I mean? It's like we're going to find the littlest, the bullshittest thing, whatever we into, we're going to go back to the shit. Do we got anything to do with money? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't got nothing to do with money, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
Straight Drop went on Instagram Saturday and said he'll be turning himself in today. He stated it with confidence. My thing is, when MPD and the U.S. Marshals issued the warrant for his arrest, they stated that he violated a previous charge. So whether he's innocent or not in the Dolph case, he will not be getting out anytime soon if he turned himself in. Now, concerning Dolph case, if he claiming innocent, he better go get them Ballin boys. They gonna have to prove their case, okay? They gonna need an eyewitness or some hardcore evidence because he claiming innocent. Straight Drop also reposted a response from the judge that handled his first case. Now, what I got out of that was he's saying that if he did it, he'll take his charge. But he innocent, so he ain't taking no charge for something that he didn't do.
Immediately admitted to what he did and said, you don't need to indict me. I'll agree to my charges. Because he had no record, he was range 1, which is 3 to 6 years. Because there were 3 people involved, he pled guilty to 5 years in prison and agreed not to ask for probation. He agreed to go to prison.
Kraft says because Johnson was so well behaved in prison, he was given probation and released.
After 6 months, he filed a petition to ask for probation because he'd done all these classes and he'd gotten arranged to have a job with a painting company when he got out and done all this, and came to court, and everyone agreed. We didn't even have a hearing. Everyone agreed that he had no record, that he admitted to what he did, and he had done all this stuff while in prison, and they agreed to put him on probation.
I don't know how this gonna turn out. Some people turn themselves in trying to play the law and still end up being charged. And on the other hand, some people turn themselves in to the law and they end up being let go.
Grew up on the same block we grew up on. We had the same trials and tribulations, but you became successful and I became a failure, made me feel a certain way about myself. Because we had the same, we dealt the same deck of cards. You know what I mean? So I feel like my success affects the people closest to me the most. A person that don't know me might root for me, you know what I mean, and be happy for me. A person that know me and comes from the same environment and had the same cards dealt to them, that keep going to jail, don't have no money, never made their parents proud or their mama proud, never did anything that they could look in the mirror and be proud of. You know what I mean? It make you feel a certain way, and it's intense. And that shit manifests into jealousy, hate, violence. You know what I mean? It's deep because it's a stigma about artists becoming Hollywood, especially street artists going Hollywood. But it's almost like you gotta sacrifice yourself for the opinions of others. You know what I mean? So people look at you as a
unique man, charming man. He was just everything. And I'm so, so blessed to have been able to experience him for nearly a decade. He had such a benevolent spirit, a giving heart, a heart of gold. I said it once and I'll say it again. He had a heart of David, one after God's own heart. And I'll say that to the day I die, because I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So unique. Just such a unique spirit. And I knew that from the first time. I'm not going to say the first time I met him, but it was the first time that I really got to know him. And I had conversations with him, and I would see, we would go on dates, and we would go to Houston's or just anywhere, and if we were walking and somebody came up like, hey, can I get your leftovers? He would literally go back inside the restaurant and order something altogether new just to give that person something to eat. And I don't think it was Houston's, it was actually Half Shell at that time. But I just would be amazed at, like, you were literally going back in. I thought that was just so just awesome, you know, and it made me love and like him more at that time. Just, I never experienced someone to be that giving. I even witnessed him once. We were out of town, we was out of the country, and he was so eager to go into the town where everybody was, and he wanted to just give. He literally, all the money in his pocket, he gave away to all of the young boys that came up, and one boy came up and said, I didn't get anything. And he looked around, and he looked at his feet, and he took the shoes off of his feet, and he gave this young boy the shoes off of his feet and walked until we found some Crocs or somebody selling something just nearby in the town. And it was just that selflessness, that spirit that he had that made me literally fall in love with him, that nothing that could be done or said could ever make me look at him any differently than just having a good heart.
Still fuck with all of my partners. That's why I still come to my hood. That's why I still come to my city. That's why I just do what I do. Outside, like, okay, yeah, when I leave home, I leave Memphis, and I'm out wherever I'm at, it's young Dolph. You know what I mean? Come back around here, all this Dolph in the hood. All this my boy Dolph. You know, all this Dolph. You know what I mean? It's different around here.
contributions during his time here on earth go far beyond music. Not only was he a devoted partner, father, son, nephew, brother, and businessman, he was also deeply devoted to this city. He was devoted to the potential growth and development of his community, especially our youth. Dolph created more national artists, more real estate investors, more comedians, more entrepreneurs, more philanthropists, and so much more. He showed our youth what was possible when you stay true to yourself and pursue your dreams at all costs. He was proud to be from South Memphis. He treated everyone he encountered with the utmost respect and compassion, no matter what they were asking for. He was always willing and ready to serve and support. Even his final moments were spent supporting his community. So it's only fitting that we memorialize his life in the history books of our state. And so I would like to present the family with a resolution from the state of Tennessee. You can bring it over here. Thank you, Jamal. So I'm going to read this out because I don't think we've quite enumerated all of his accomplishments during his time, so I want to make sure that everybody knows what kind of man we're talking about today. Whereas we are greatly saddened to learn of the untimely passing of Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. of Memphis. And whereas Memphis rap legend Adolph Thornton, known professionally as Young Dolph, was an exemplary gentleman and consummate professional who worked assiduously to improve the quality of life for his fellow citizens in numerous capacities. And whereas born on July 27, 1985 in Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Thornton was raised primarily by his grandmother in South Memphis from 4 years of age. He attended Hamilton High School as a teenager. And whereas Young Dolph began his music career in 2008 when he released his first mixtape, Paper Route Campaign. 2 years later, he formally established his independent record label, Paper Route Empire, and subsequently released Welcome to Dolph World. And whereas with the release of his mixtapes, High Class Street Music Episode 2 in 2011, Young Dolph began to develop his own rap flow, shifting away from a style similar to widely known Memphis rap acts 3 6 Mafia and 8 Ball and MJG, into a personal style described as vociferous with a magnetic delivery and uniquely deep voice. And whereas Young Dolph's star continued to rise, and in 2016 he was featured on OT Genesis' hit double platinum single Cut It, and later that year released his debut album King of Memphis under Paper Route Empire. As his popularity increased, he received offers for major label record deals, but he turned them down, preferring to stay independent. And whereas in 2018, Young Dolph signed a distribution deal with Empire Distribution, and in July 2019, in a joint venture between Paper Route Empire and Empire Distribution, he collaborated with Key Glock on the album Dumb and Dumber, which peaked at number 8 on the Billboard 200, earning each of the artists his first top 10 album. And whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, Young Dolph released the single Sunshine amid rumors of his retirement from music, he also released edited album covers of previous releases on streaming services to feature individuals wearing surgical masks to highlight and address the global pandemic. And on August 14, 2020, he released his 7th album, Rich Slave, which was the highest charting album, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard 200. And whereas in addition to his successful career as a musician, Young Dolph was known in his hometown for his philanthropy. He donated $50,000 to his alma mater and gave motivational speeches to their students on the regular. He held Mother's Day brunches for domestic violence victims and substance abusers, and contributed yearly to the Tennessee Arts Academy Foundation. Whereas he also donated and delivered Thanksgiving turkeys across the city of Memphis, including Hickory Hill, Westwood, and South Memphis, including Lemoyne Gardens and Castelia, and visited the patients and staff of West Clinic to acknowledge the beautiful work they do. He also hosted the annual back-to-school block party, where he donated school supplies and backpacks to the youth. And whereas Adolph Thornton was deeply devoted to his family, and he always endeavored to remain true to family values of the highest order. And whereas he leaves to mourn his memory his 2 children, Adolph Thornton III and Aria Thornton, and his partner Jamia Jardine, as well as a host of adoring fans, extensive family, his PRE team, and the rest of the world. And whereas Mr. Thornton leaves behind an indelible legacy of integrity, probity, compassion, and loyalty in his life, and diligence and dedication in all of his chosen endeavors. And where it is fitting that we should remember the bountiful life of such an exceptional human being, now therefore, I, Randy McNally, Speaker of the Senate of the 112th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, in conjunction with Senator Katrina Robinson and the undersigned, do hereby proclaim that we honor the memory of Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., reflecting fondly upon his impeccable character, his loyal commitment to living the examined life with courage and conviction. We express our sympathy and offer our condolences to the family of Mr. Thornton, proclaimed in Nashville, Tennessee on this 18th day of November 2021. I would like to present this to you, Jameer. But in true Dolph fashion, we don't stop there. It's truly a shame that we continue to lose our young black men to gun violence. As fulfilling as it is to be able to reminisce on how talented and exceptional a man Dolph was, it physically pains me to stand here and talk to you about yet another person we have lost due to senseless violence in this city. How much tragedy do we have to experience before we collectively decide that enough is enough and that we have to do something? So I'm calling on all of our elected officials, including our mayor, our law enforcement. Do we have to experience before we collectively decide that enough is enough and that we have to do something? So I'm calling on all of our elected officials, including our mayor, our law enforcement, community leaders, school leaders, and the community, to really come together to formulate a realistic plan that we can all execute together to stop all this violence, because our city deserves better. Our children deserve better. Dolph deserves better. We all want Dolph's legacy to be marked by service, by loyalty, and by commitment to our community, reaching back to elevate those around us. So at the request of the Paper Route team and his beloved Aunt Rita, November 17th will now officially be designated as the Adolph Young Dolph Thornton Jr. Day of Service in Tennessee. And not only will we do this in Tennessee through legislation, that means that Young Dolph has his own day of service on November 17th, just like Martin Luther King has his own day of service on January 17th. And to those who don't understand how we can name a day of service after this young man, I don't have anything to say.